Did you hear what I was playing, Lane?
I didn't think it polite to listen, sir.
I'm sorry for that. For your sake. I don't play accurately. Anybody can play accurately. No, I play with wonderful expression. As far as the harmonica is concerned, sentimentality is my forte. I keep silence for life.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of the science of life, you had the cucumber sandwiches cut for Lady Bracknell.
Yes, sir.
By the way, Lane, I see from your book that on Thursday night, when Lord Shoreham and Mr. Worthing dined with me, 8 bottles of champagne are entered as having been consumed.
Yes, sir. 8 bottles and a pint.
Why is it that at a bachelor's establishment, the servants invariably drink the champagne?
I attribute it to the superior quality of the wine, sir. I have often observed that in married households, the wine is rarely of a first-class brand.
Good heavens! Is marriage so demoralizing as that?
I believe it to be a very pleasant state, sir. I have had little experience of it myself up to the present. I have only been married once, and that was in consequence of a misunderstanding between myself and a young person.
Not sure I'm much interested in your family life, Lane.
No, sir. It's not a very interesting subject. I rarely think of it myself.
Very natural, I am sure. That will do, Lane. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Views on marriage seem somewhat lax. The lower orders don't set a good enough example for us, and what on earth is the use of them? They seem, as a class, to have no sense of moral responsibility.
Mr. Earnest Worthing.
Ah, Ernest, how are you? What brings you to town?
Pleasure, pleasure. What else should bring one anywhere? Eating as usual, I see, Algy?
I believe it is perfectly customary in good society to take some slight refreshment at 5 o'clock. Where have you been since last Thursday?
In the country.
What on earth do you do there?
When one is in town, one amuses oneself. When one is in the country, one amuses other people. It's excessively boring.
Who are the people you amuse?
Oh, neighbours.
Got nice neighbours in your part of Shropshire?
Perfectly horrid. Never spoke to one of them.
Immensely, you must amuse them. By the way, Shropshire is your county, is it not?
Shropshire? Yes, of course. Hello! Why all the mugs? Why the cucumber sandwiches? And why such reckless extravagance in one so young? Who's coming to tea?
Merely Aunt Augusta. And Gwendolen.
Perfectly delightful.
Yes, it is all very well, but I doubt Aunt Augusta will much approve of your being here.
May I ask why?
My dear fellow, the way you flirt with Gwendolen is perfectly disgraceful. It's almost as bad as the way Gwendolen flirts with you.
I'm in love with Gwendolen. I came up to town expressly to propose to her.
I thought you said you'd come up for pleasure. Call that business.
How utterly unromantic you are.
I can see nothing romantic about being proposed to. Very romantic to be in love. There is nothing romantic about a definitive proposal. One may be accepted, and one usually is, I believe. And the excitement is all over. The very essence of romance is uncertainty. If I am ever married, I will certainly try to forget the fact.
I have no doubt about that. The divorce court was specially invented for people's memories were so curiously constituted.
Oh, there's no use speculating on that subject. Divorces are made home. Please don't touch the cucumber sandwiches. They're ordered specially for Aunt Augusta.
Woman, you're eating them all the time!
That's a very different matter. She is my aunt. And some bread and butter. Bread and butter is for Gwendolen. Gwendolen is devoted to bread and butter.
Very good bread and butter it is too.
My dear fellow, you need not eat it as if you were going to eat it all. You behave as if you were married to her already. You're not married to her already, and I doubt you ever will be.
Why on earth do you say that?
Well, in the first place, girls don't marry the men they flirt with.
No.
Girls don't think it right.
That's nonsense.
It isn't. It's a great truth. It accounts for the extraordinary number of bachelors one sees all across town. And in the second place, I don't give my consent.
Your consent?
Fellow Gwendolyn is my first cousin. Before I allow you to marry her, you must clear up the whole question of Cecily.
Cecily? What on earth do you mean? What do you mean, Algy, by Cecily? I don't know anyone of the name of Cecily.
Bring me the cigarette case Mr. Worthing left the last time he dined here.
Yes, sir.
Do you mean to say you've had my cigarette case all this time? I wish to goodness you would let me know. I've been writing frantic letters to Scotland Yard about it. I'm very nearly offering a large reward.
Oh, I wish you would. I've been more than usually hard up at the moment.
But they couldn't offer a large reward when the thing is found.
I think that rather mean of you, Ernest. But no matter, for when I look upon the inscription inside, I find that the thing isn't yours after all.
Of course it's mine. You've seen it 100 times. And you have no right whatsoever to look what's written inside. It's a very ungentlemanly thing to do, to read one's private cigarette case.
Oh, it is absurd to have such a hard and fast rule about what one should and what one shouldn't read.
Yes, I'm quite aware of the fact. I don't propose to discuss modern culture. It isn't the sort of thing one should talk of in private. I simply want my cigarette case back.
Yes, but this isn't your cigarette case. This cigarette case is a present from someone of the name of Cecily, and you said you didn't know anyone of that name.
Well, if you want to know, Cecily happens to be my aunt.
Your aunt?
Yes, charming old lady she is too, lives at Tunbridge Wells. Just give it back to me, Algy.
Why does she call herself Little Cecily, if she is your aunt and from Tunbridge Wells? From Little Cecily with her fondest love.
My dear fellow, what on earth is there in that? Some aunties are tall, some aunties are not tall. That is surely a matter that an auntie may be allowed to decide for herself. I mean, you seem to think that every aunt should be exactly like your aunt. I mean, it's absurd. For heaven's sake, give me back my cigarettes!
But why does she call you her dear uncle? From Little Cecily with her fondest love to her dear Uncle Jack. There is no objection, I admit, in an aunt being a small aunt. But why an aunt, no matter what her size may be, should call her own nephew her uncle? I can't quite make out. Besides, your name isn't Jack at all, it is Ernest.
It isn't Ernest, it's Jack.
You always told me it was Ernest. I've introduced you to everyone as Earnest. You answer to the name of Ernest, you look as if your name was Ernest. My God, the most earnest-looking person I ever saw in my life. It is absurd to say that your name isn't Ernest. I mean, look, it is on your cards. Here is one of them. Mr. Ernest Worthing before the Albert. I shall keep this as proof that your name is Ernest. Did you ever try to deny it to me, to Gwendolyn, or to anyone else?
Well, my name is Ernest in town, and Jack in the country, and the cigarette case was given to me in the country.
Yes, but that does not account for why your Aunt Cecily calls you her dear uncle. Come on, old boy. It's much better to have the whole thing out at once.
My dear fellow, you talk exactly as if you're a dentist. It's very vulgar to talk like a dentist when one isn't a dentist. It produces a false impression.
That is what dentists always do. Now go on, please. I may add, I have always suspected you of being a Bunburyist, and now I'm quite sure of it.
A Bunburyist? What on earth is a Bunburyist?
I will reveal to you the meaning of that incomparable expression as soon as you are polite enough to inform me why you are Ernest in town and Jack in the country.
Well, produce my cigarette case first.
Here it is. Now produce your explanation and pray make it improbable.
My dear fellow, there is nothing improbable about my explanation at all. In fact, it's perfectly ordinary. The late Mr. Thomas Cardew, who adopted me when I was a little boy, made me, in his will, guardian to his granddaughter, Miss Cecily Cardew. Cecily, who addresses me as her uncle from motives of respect that you could not possibly appreciate. Lives at my place in the country, under the charge of admirable governess Miss Prism.
Where is this place in the country?
No, that is nothing to you, dear boy. You are not going to be invited. I may tell you frankly, the place is not in Shropshire.
I have suspected that, my dear fellow. I have bunburyed all over Shropshire on 2 separate occasions. Now go on. Why are you Ernest in town and Jack in the country?
My dear fellow, I don't know whether you'll be able to understand my real motives. You're hardly serious enough. When one is placed in the position of guardian, one has to adopt a very high moral tone on all subjects. It's one's duty to do so. As a high moral tone can hardly be said to conduce to either one's health or one's happiness, in order to get up to town, I've invented a younger brother of the name of Earnest, who lives at the Albany and gets into the most dreadful scrapes. That, my dear boy, is the whole truth, pure and simple.
The truth is rarely pure and never simple. If it were, modern life would be very tedious, and modern literature a complete impossibility.
I have no doubt about the matter.
Literary criticism is not your forte, my dear fellow. I wouldn't try it if I were you. Even to the people that haven't been to university, they do it so well in the daily papers. No, what you really are is a Bumburyist. You're one of the most advanced Bumburists I know.
What on earth do you mean?
You have invented a very useful younger brother called Earnest, in order that you may come up to town as often as you like. I have invented a perfect invalid of a friend called Bunbury, in order that I may go down to the country whenever I choose. Bunbury is perfectly invaluable. If it wasn't for Bunbury's extraordinary bad health, for instance, I would be able to dine with you at Willis's tonight, for I've long been engaged to Aunt Augusta for more than a week.
I haven't asked you to dine with me anywhere tonight.
Oh no, you're so absurdly careless about sending out invitations. It's very foolish of you. Nothing annoys people more than not receiving invitations.
You'd better dine with your Aunt Augusta.
I have no intention of doing anything of the kind. To begin with, I dine there on Monday, and once a week is quite enough to dine with one's own relations. In the second place, whenever I do dine there, I am always treated as a member of the family. I sat next to either no woman at all, or two. And in the third place, I know exactly who she will place me next to tonight. She'll place me next to Mary Farquhar, who always flirts with her own husband across the dinner table. It's not very pleasant. Indeed, it's not even decent. And it's the sort of thing that is enormously on the increase. The amount of women in London who flirt with their own husbands, it's so bad. Simply washing one's clean linen in public. Besides, now that I know you are a proper Bumburyist, I naturally want to talk to you about Bunbury. I want to tell you the rules.
I am not a Bunburyist at all. If Gwendolyn accepts me, I shall kill my brother. I shall kill him in any case. Cecily's becoming a little too interested in him. It's rather a bore, so I'm going to get rid of Ernest, and I strongly advise you to do the same with your unwell friend with the absurd name.
Nothing will induce me to part with Bunbury. And if you ever find yourself getting married, which seems to me extremely problematic, you'll be very glad to know Bunbury. A man who marries without knowing Bunbury has a very tedious time of it.
That is nonsense. If I marry a charming girl like Gwendolyn, and she's the only girl I ever saw in my life I would marry, I certainly wouldn't want to know Bunbury.
Then your wife will. You don't seem to realise that in married life, 3 is company and 2 is none.
My dear fellow, that's what the French corrupt drama's been propounding for the last 50 years.
Yes, and the happy English home has proved in half the time.
Don't try to be cynical. It's perfectly easy to be cynical.
My dear fellow, it's not easy to be anything nowadays. There's such a lot of ghastly competition about. Must be Aunt Augusta. Only relatives or creditors ever ring in that Hungarian manner. Now listen, if I get her out of the way for 10 minutes so that you might have the opportunity of proposing to Gwendolen, may I dine with you tonight at Willis's?
Yes, I suppose so.
No, but you must be serious about it. I hate people that are never serious about meals. It's so shallow of them.
Lady Blackwood and Miss Fairfax.
Good afternoon, dear Algernon. I hope you are behaving very well.
I feel very well, Aunt Augusta.
That's not quite the same thing. In fact, the two things rarely go together. Good afternoon, Mr. Worthing. How do you do?
Me? You are smart.
I'm always smart. Am I not, Mr. Worthing?
Quite perfect, Miss Fairfax.
Oh, I do hope I am not that. It would give no room for development. And I intend to develop in many directions. I'm sorry if you are a little late, Algernon, but I was obliged to call on dear Lady Harvey. I had been there since her poor husband's death. I never saw a woman so altered. She looks quite 20 years younger. And now, I'll have a cup of tea and one of those nice cucumber sandwiches you promised me.
Certainly, Aunt Augusta.
Won't you come and sit here, Gwendolen? Thanks, Mamma. I'm quite comfortable where I am.
Good heavens! Lane, where are the cucumber sandwiches? I've ordered them especially.
There were no cucumbers in the market this morning, sir. I went down twice.
No cucumbers?
No, sir. Not even for ready money.
Well, that will do, Lane. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'm greatly distressed, Aunt Augusta, about there being no cucumber sandwiches. Not even for ready money.
It really is no matter, Algernon. I had some crumpets with Lady Harvey, who seems to me to be living entirely for pleasure now.
I hear her hair has turned quite gold from grief.
It certainly has changed its colour from what cause I, of course. I've quite a treat for you tonight, Algernon. I am sitting down with Mary Farquhar. She's such a nice woman and so attentive to her husband. It's delightful to watch them.
I'm afraid, Aunt Augusta, I shall not be able to dine with you tonight after all.
I hope not, Algernon. It would put my table completely out. Your uncle would have to dine upstairs. Fortunately, he is accustomed to that.
It is a great bore, and needless to say, a terrible disappointment. But I'm afraid that I have received a telegram to say that my poor friend Bunbury is dreadfully ill again.
It is strange. This Mr. Bunbury seems to suffer curiously bad health.
Yes, Bunbury is a dreadful invalid.
Well, I must say, Algernon, that I think it is high time that this Mr. Bunbury made up his mind whether he was going to live or die. This shilly-shallying with the question is absurd. Nor do I in any way approve of the modern sympathies with invalids. I consider it morbid. Illness of any kind is hardly something to be encouraged in others. Health is the primary duty of life. That is what I'm always telling your uncle, but he never seems to take much notice as far as any improvement in his ailment goes. I would be much obliged if you would ask Mr. Bunbury from me to be kind enough not to have a relapse on Saturday, for I rely on you to arrange my music for me. It is my last reception, and one wants something that will encourage conversation, particularly at the end of the season when everyone has practically said everything they had to say, which was probably not much.
I shall speak to Bunbury, Aunt Augusta, if, of course, he is still conscious, but I think he should be all right by Saturday. The music, however, is another matter entirely, and very difficult. You see, if one plays good music, then people don't listen. If one plays bad music, then people don't talk. However, I shall go over the plans I've drawn up with you. You will kindly accompany me into the next room.
Thank you, Algernon. It is very thoughtful of you. I'm sure the program will be delightful after a few expurgations. French songs I cannot possibly allow. People always seem to think they are improper, which is or laugh, which is worse. But German sounds a thoroughly respectable language, and indeed, I believe is so. Gwynton, you will accompany me? Certainly, Mamma.
Charming day it has been, Miss Fairfax.
Pray, don't talk to me about the weather, Mr. Worthing. Whenever people talk to me about the weather, I always feel quite certain they mean something else. That makes me so nervous.
I do mean something else.
I thought so. In fact, I never will.
And I'd like to be able to take advantage of Lady Bracknell's temporary absence.
I would certainly advise you to do so. Mamma has a way of coming back into a room suddenly that I've often had to speak to her about.
Miss Fairfax, ever since I met you, I've admired you more than any girl I've ever met since I met you.
Yes, I'm quite well aware of the fact. And I often wish that in public, at any rate, you would be more demonstrative. For me, you have always had an irresistible fascination. Even before I met you, I was far from indifferent to you. We live, as I hope you know, Mr. Worthing, in an age of ideals. The fact is constantly mentioned in the more expensive monthly magazines and has reached the provincial pulpits, I am told. And my ideal has always been to love someone of the name of Earnest. There is something in the name that inspires absolute confidence. The moment Algernon first mentioned to me that he had a friend called Earnest, I knew that I was destined to love you.
Oh, you really love me, Gwendolen.
Passionately.
Darling, how happy you made me.
My own Earnest.
But you don't mean to say you couldn't love me if my name wasn't Ernest.
Which I mean is
Yes,
Earnest.
I know. Suppose it was something else. Do you mean to say that you couldn't love me then?
Well, that is clearly a metaphysical speculation. And like most metaphysical speculations, has very little reference at all to the actual facts of real life as we know them.
Personally, darling, to speak quite candidly, I don't much care for the name of Ernest. I don't think the name suits me at all.
Oh, it suits you perfectly. It's a divine name. It has a music of its own that produces vibrations.
Good point, and I must say, I think there are lots of much nicer names. I think Jack, for instance, a charming name.
Jack. No, there is very little music in the name Jack, if any at all indeed. It does not thrill, it produces absolutely no vibrations. I have known several Jacks, and they all, without exception, were more than usually plain. Besides, Jack is a notorious domesticity for John. And I pity any woman who is married to a man called John. She would probably never be allowed to know the entrancing pleasure of a single moment's solitude. No, the only really safe name is Earnest.
When I must get christened at once. I mean, I must get married at once. There's no time to be lost.
Married, Mr. Worthing.
Oh, surely. You know that I love you, and you led me to believe, Miss Fairfax, that you were not absolutely indifferent to me.
I adore you, but you haven't proposed to me yet. Nothing at all has been said about marriage. The subject has not even been touched on.
Well, may I propose to you now?
I think it would be an admirable opportunity. And to spare you any possible disappointment, I think it's only fair to tell you quite frankly beforehand that I am fully determined to accept you.
Oh, Gwendolyn!
Yes, Mr. Worthing, what have you got to say to me?
You know what I've got to say to you.
Yes, but you don't say it.
Gwendolyn, will you marry me?
Oh, of course I will, darling. Go! How long have you been about it? I'm afraid you've had very little experience in how to propose.
My own one. I've never loved anyone in the world but you.
Yes, but men often propose for practice. I know my brother Gerald does. All my girlfriends tell me so. What wonderfully blue eyes you have, Ernest. They're quite blue. I hope you will always look at me like that, especially when there are other people present. Mr. Worthing! Right, sir! This semi-recumbent bush is most ridiculous! Mamma! I must beg you to retire. This is no place for you. Besides, Mr. Worthing is not quite finished yet. Finished what, may I ask? I am engaged to Mr. Worthing, Mamma. I beg your pardon? You are not engaged to anyone. When you do become engaged, I or your father, should his health permit him, will inform you of the fact. An engagement to come upon a young girl as a surprise, pleasant or unpleasant, as the case may be, but it is hardly something that she could arrange for herself. And now, I have a few questions to put to you, Mr. Worthing. And while I'm making these inquiries, you, Gwendolyn, will wait for me below in the carriage. Mamma? In the carriage, Gwendolyn. Yes, Mamma. Gwendolyn! The carriage! You can take a seat, Mr. Worthing.
Thank you, Lady Bracknell. I prefer standing.
I feel bound to tell you that you are not down on my list of eligible young men, although I have the same list that the dear Duchess of Bolton has. We work together, in fact. However, I am quite ready to enter your name, should your answers be what a really affectionate mother requires. Do you smoke?
Well, yes, I must admit, I smoke.
I am glad to hear it. A man should always have an occupation of some kind. There are far too many idle men in London as it is. How old are you?
29.
A very good age to be married at. I am of the opinion that a man who desires to be married should either know everything or nothing. Which do you know?
I know nothing, Lady Bracknell.
I am pleased to hear it. I do not approve of anything that tampers with natural ignorance. Ignorance is like a delicate exotic fruit. Touch it and the bloom is gone. The whole theory surrounding modern education is radically unsound. Fortunately, in England, at any rate, education produces no effect whatsoever. If indeed it would prove a serious danger to the upper classes and probably lead to extra violence and gross despair. What is your income?
Between 7,000 and 8,000 a year.
In land or in investments?
Investments chiefly.
That is satisfactory. What between the duties expected from one during one's lifetime and the duties accepted from one during one's death, land has ceased to become either a profit or a pleasure. It gives one position and prevents one from keeping it up. That is all that can be said about land.
I have a house in the country, of course, with some land attached to it. About 150 acres, but I don't depend on that for my real income. In fact, as far as I can make out, the poachers are the only people who make anything out of it.
A country house? How many bedrooms? Well, that point can be cleared up later. You have a townhouse, I hope? A girl with a simple,
unspoiled nature like Gwendolyn could hardly be expected to reside in the country.
I own a house in Belgrave Square, but it's a let by the year to Lady Bloxham. But I can get it back whenever I like, at 6 months' notice.
Lady Bloxham, I don't know her.
Yeah, she doesn't get about very much. She's a lady considerably advanced in years.
Nowadays, that is no guarantee of respectability of character. What number, Belgrave Square?
149.
The unfashionable side. I knew there was something. However, that could easily be altered.
Do you mean the fashion or the side?
Well, both if necessary, I presume. What are your politics?
I'm afraid I really have none. I'm a liberal unionist.
Well, they count as Tories. They dine with us and join us in the evening at any rate. Now, two minor matters. Are your parents living?
I've lost both my parents.
To lose one parent, Mr. Worthing, may be regarded as a misfortune. To lose both looks like carelessness. Who was your father? He was evidently a man of some wealth. Was he born in what the radical papers call the purple commerce? Or did he rise from the ranks of the aristocracy?
But I'm afraid I really don't know. The fact is, Lady Bracknell, when I said I'd lost my parents, it'd be near the truth to say that my parents seem to have lost me. I don't actually know who I am by birth. I was found.
Found?
Yes, an old gentleman of a very charitable and kindly disposition found me and named me Worthing because he had a first-class ticket for Worthing in his pocket at the time. Worthing is a place in Sussex. It's a seaside resort.
Where did this charitable gentleman who had a first-class ticket to this seaside resort find you?
In a handbag. Yes, I was found in a handbag. A somewhat large brown leather handbag with handles to it. I mean, an ordinary leather handbag, in fact.
What locality did this Mr. James or Thomas Cardew come across this ordinary handbag?
In the cloakroom in Victoria Station, it was given to him for mistake for his own.
The cloakroom at Victoria Station?
Yes, the Brighton line.
The line is immaterial. Mr. Worthing, I confess I feel somewhat bewildered by what you have just told me. To be born, or at any rate bred, in a handbag, whether it had handles or not, seems to me to display a contempt of the ordinary decencies of family life that reminds one of the worst excesses of the French Revolution. And I presume you know what that unfortunate movement led to. As for the particular locality in which the handbag was found, a cloakroom at a railway station might serve to conceal a social indiscretion has probably indeed been used for that purpose before now, but it can hardly be regarded as an assured basis for a recognized position in good society.
Well, may I ask you what you advise me to do? I need hardly to say that I would do anything to ensure Gwendolyn's happiness.
I would strongly advise you, Mr. Worthing, to try and acquire some relations as soon as possible, and to make a definite effort, at any rate, to produce one parent of either sex before the season is quite over.
Well, I don't see how I could possibly manage to do that. I mean, I can produce the handbag at any moment. It's in my dressing room at home. But I really think that should satisfy you, Lady Bracknell.
Mason! What has it to do with me? You can hardly imagine that I and Lord Bracknell would dream of allowing our only daughter, a girl brought up with the utmost care, to marry into a cloakroom and form an alliance with a parcel. Good morning, Mr. Worthing. Oh.
Good morning! For heaven's sake, Algy, don't play that ghastly tune! How idiotic you are!
go off all right. Oh, don't mean to tell me Gwendolyn refused you. I know. It's the way she has. She's always refusing people. I think it most ill-natured of her.
Gwendolyn is right as a trivet. As far as she's concerned, we're engaged. Her mother is perfectly unbearable. I mean, I've never met such a gorgon! I don't really know what a gorgon is like, but I'm quite certain Lady Bracknell is one. I mean, in any case, she is a monster without being a myth, which is rather unfair. I beg your pardon, Algy. I suppose I shouldn't talk of your aunt in that way before you.
My dear fellow, I love to hear my relations abused.
That is nonsense.
It isn't.
You're talking nonsense.
Oh, no one ever does.
Well, I wish to goodness you would stop.
I mean, for goodness sakes, I can't really see why you want me to. Well, with all due respect, come on, Algy. I shall make it work, don't you worry. But, come on now. It should be a right laugh. I mean, she is a gorgon, I admit, but...
But I've never met such a gorgon. I mean, in any case, she is a monster without being a myth, which is, you know, rather unfair.
Well, I suppose it is, you are right, but, I mean, one cannot argue. I really can't see where we go from. I mean, you know, I think it most indecorous. So in this case... Boy. But I love to hear my relations abused, my dear boy. I really do. I can't see why you would object to this.
Upon my word, if I thought that, I would shoot myself.
Well, I don't really see why you would. I mean, you've had Gwendolyn, and I promise you, Gwendolyn will not end up like her mother. Or maybe she will. I mean, maybe she will. Maybe she will end up like her mother. No, I think she very much so might. It is every woman's fate.
You don't think there's any chance of Gwendolyn becoming like my mother in about 150 years, do you, Algy?
I think she will. Most women end up like their mothers. That is their tragedy. But no man does. That is his.
Is that clever?
It's perfectly phrased. Quite as true as any observation in civilized life should be.
I am sick to death of cleverness. Everybody wants to be clever nowadays. And you can't go anywhere without meeting clever people. The thing is an absolute public nuisance. I mean, I wish there were a few fools left.
We have.
Well, I should extremely like to meet them. What do they talk about?
The fools. Oh, clever people, of course.
What fools?
By the way, did you tell Gwendolyn about your being Earnest in town and Jack in the country?
My dear fellow, one doesn't tell a nice, sweet, refined girl those sort of things. What extraordinary ideas you have about the way to behave to a woman.
The only way to behave to a woman is to make love to her if she is pretty, and someone else if she is plain.
That is nonsense.
It isn't. But, okay, very well. What about your brother? What about the profligate Earnest?
Well, I would have got rid of him by the end of the week. I'll say he died in Paris of apoplexy. Lots of people die of apoplexy quite suddenly, don't they, Algy?
It's hereditary, my dear fellow. It's the sort of thing that runs in families. Much better say he died of a severe chill.
Sure, a severe chill isn't hereditary or anything of the kind.
Of course it isn't.
Very well then. My poor brother Ernest is carried off suddenly in Paris by a severe chill. That gets rid of him.
Yes, but what miscarriage you? Miss him a little too much. You said he was becoming quite obsessed with her.
Oh, that is all right. Cecily isn't a silly romantic girl, I'm glad to say. She's got a capital appetite, goes on long walks and pays no attention at all to her lessons.
Very much so like to meet Cecily.
Oh, making streamy too, you never do. She's excessively pretty and she's only just 18.
And did you tell Gwendolyn about your excessively pretty wars who's only just 18?
One doesn't just blurt those things out to people. Gwendolyn and Cecily are going to become perfectly great friends. I bet you anything after half an hour, they'll be calling each other sister.
Women only do that when they've called each other a lot of other things first. Now come on, old boy. If we want to get a good table at Willis's, we really must go and dress. I am hungry.
I never knew you when you weren't.
What should we do after dinner? Should we go to the club?
Oh no, I hate talking.
Very well. Let's just go to the theatre.
Oh no, I loathe listening.
Right. Trot around to the Empire at 10.
I can't bear looking at things. It's so silly.
But what shall we do?
Nothing.
Is there hard work doing nothing? I don't mind hard work when there's no definitive object of any kind. Quentin, upon my word!
Algy, kindly turn your back. I have something very particular to say to Mr. Worthing.
Really, Quentin, I don't think I can allow this at all.
Algy, you always adopt a strictly immoral attitude towards life. You're not quite old enough to do that.
I only won.
Ernest, we may never be married. I fear from the expression on Mamma's face that we never shall. Few parents nowadays pay any regard to what their children have to say to them. The old-fashioned respect for the young is fast dying out. Whatever influence I had over Mamma, I lost at the age of 3. Although she may prevent us from becoming man and wife, and I may marry someone else very often, nothing she can possibly do can alter my eternal devotion to you.
Oh, Gwendolyn.
The story of your romantic origin as related to me by Mamma, with unpleasing comments, has naturally stirred the deeper fibres of my nature. Your Christian name has an irresistible fascination. The simplicity of your character is exquisitely incomprehensible to me. Your town address at the Albany I have. What is your address in the country?
The Manor House, Woolton, Hertfordshire.
There is a good postal service, I suppose. It may be necessary to do something quite desperate. That, of course, will require serious consideration. I will communicate with you daily.
I only won.
How long do you remain in town?
Till Monday.
Good. Algy, you may turn around now.
Thanks, I have already.
You may also ring the bell.
You let me take you to your carriage, Miss Fairfax.
Certainly.
I will take Miss Fairfax.
Yes, sir.
Glass of sherry, Lane.
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow, Lane, I'm going bumbling.
Yes, sir.
I shall not be back till Monday. You can leave out my smoking jacket, my Bunbury suits, and my dress shirts.
Yes, sir.
I hope the weather will be pleasant.
It never is, sir.
Oh, Lane, you're such a perfect pessimist.
I'll do my best to give satisfaction, sir.
There is a sweet, innocent girl. The only girl I have ever cared for. What on earth are you so amused at?
Oh, I'm just a little concerned for poor Bunbury, is all.
If you're not careful, that friend will get into a serious scrape someday.
Oh, I love scrapes. They're the only thing that are never serious.
Nonsense! You're always talking nonsense!
No one ever does!
Grammars on the table. Ray open to page 15. You will repeat yesterday's lesson.
But I don't like German. It isn't at all a becoming language. I knew perfectly well to look quite plain after my German lesson.
Child, you know how anxious your guardian is that you should improve yourself in every way. He laid particular stress on your German as he was leaving the town. Indeed, he always lays stress on your German as he was leaving the town.
Dear Uncle Jack is so very serious. Sometimes he's so serious I think he cannot be quite well.
Your guardian enjoys the best of health, and his gravity of demeanour is especially to be commended in one so comparatively young as he is. I know no one who has a higher sense of duty and responsibility.
I suppose that's why I often lose a little bored when we are together.
Cecily! I am surprised at you. Mr. Worthing has many troubles in his life. Idle merriment and triviality would be out of place in this conversation. You must remember his constant anxiety about that unfortunate young man, his brother.
I do wish Uncle Jack would allow that unfortunate young man and his brother to come here sometime. We might be good influence over him, Miss Prism. I'm sure you certainly would. You know, German and geology and things of that kind influence a man very much.
I do not think that even I can produce any effect on a character who, according to his own brother's admission, is irretrievably weak and vacillating. Indeed, I'm not sure I should desire to reclaim him. I am not in favour of this modern mania of turning bad people into good people at a moment's notice. As a man sows, so let him reap. You must prepare your diary, Cecily. I don't see why you should keep a diary at all.
I keep a diary in order to enter the wonderful secrets of my life. If I didn't write them down, I should probably forget all about them.
Memory, my dear Cecily, is the diary we'll carry about with us.
Well, yes, but it usually chronicles the things that haven't happened and couldn't possibly have happened. I believe that memory is responsible for nearly all the 3-volume novels that Moody sends us.
Do not speak slightingly of 3-volume novels, Cecily. I wrote them myself in earlier days.
Did you really, Miss Prism? How wonderfully clever you are. Well, I hope it didn't end happily. I don't like novels that end happily. They depress me so much.
The good ended happily and the bad unhappily. That is what fiction means.
I suppose so, but it seems terribly unfair. Was your novel ever published?
Alas! No. The manuscript, unfortunately, was abandoned. I use the word in the sense of lost or mislaid. To your work, child. These speculations are profitless.
But I see Dr. Chasuble coming up through the garden.
Oh, Dr. Chasuble, this is indeed a pleasure.
How are we this morning? Miss Prism, you are anxious well?
Miss Prism has just been complaining of a slight headache. I think a short stroll in the garden would do so much good.
Cecily, I have not mentioned anything about a headache.
No, I know that, dear Miss Prism, but I felt instinctively that you had a headache. Indeed, I was thinking about that and not like German lesson when the rector came in.
I hope, Cecily, you are not in a tent.
Oh, I'm afraid I am.
That is a shame, work. If I had fortunate enough to be Miss Prism's pupil, I would simply hang upon her lips. I spoke metaphorically. My metaphor was drawn from bees. Mr. Worthing has not returned to town yet.
We do not expect him until Monday afternoon.
Yes, he likes to spend his Sundays in London. Not one of those whose sole aim is enjoyment, by all accounts, that unfortunate man his brother seems to be. But I must not disturb Egeria and her pupil any longer.
Egeria? My name is Letitia, Doctor.
Classical illusion, merely drawn from pagan authors. I will see you both, no doubt, at evensong.
I think, dear Doctor, I will take a stroll with you. I find I have a headache after all, and a walk might do it good.
With pleasure, Miss Prism. With pleasure. We might go as far as the school and that.
Oh, that would be delightful. Cecily, you will read your political economy in my absence. The chapter on the fall of the rupee minute. It is somewhat too sensational. Even these metallic problems have their melodramatic side.
Horrid political economy, horrid geography, and horrid German.
Mr. Earnest who's just driven up from the station. He has brought his luggage with him.
Mr. Ernest Worthing, before the Albany W, Uncle Jack's brother. What did you tell him Mr. Worthing was in town?
Yes, he seemed very much disappointed. I mentioned that you and Miss Prism were in the garden. He was anxious to speak to you privately for a moment.
Well, I suppose you'd better tell him to come here, and I suppose you'd also better talk to the housekeeper about a room for him.
Yes, miss. Hola!
I've never met any truly wicked people before. I feel rather frightened. I'm so afraid he's going to look like everybody else. Oh, he does.
You are my little cousin Cecily, I am sure.
You must be under some strange mistake. I'm not little. In fact, I'm more than usually tall for my age. But you, I see from your card, are Uncle Jack's brother, my cousin Ernest. My wicked cousin Ernest.
Oh, I'm not really wicked at all, cousin Cecily. You must not think that I am wicked.
If you are not, you've certainly been deceiving us in the most inexcusable manner. I do hope that you've not been leading a double life, pretending to be really wicked but actually being really good all the time. That would be hypocrisy.
Well, I suppose I have been rather reckless.
I'm glad to hear it.
In fact, now you mention the subject, I have been very bad in my own small way.
I don't think it is something you should be proud of, though I'm sure it is very pleasant.
It's much pleasanter being here with you, cousin Cecily.
I still can't understand how you are at all. Uncle Jack went back from town until Monday.
Yes, it was a great disappointment, but I'm afraid I am due up to town on the first train by Monday morning. I have a business appointment that I am anxious to miss.
Couldn't you miss it in anywhere but London?
Sadly, no. The appointment is in London.
Well, I know, of course, how important it is not to keep a business engagement if one wants to retain any sense of the beauty of life. Oh, but still, I think we'd better wait until Jack returns. I know he wants to talk to you about your emigrating.
Am I what?
You're emigrating. He's gone up to buy your outfit.
I certainly wouldn't let Jack buy my outfit. No taste in neckties at all.
I don't think you will require neckties. Uncle Jack is sending you to Australia.
Australia? Would you rather die?
Well, he said at dinner on Wednesday night you'd have to choose between this world, the next world, and Australia.
Oh, well, the accounts I've received of Australia and the next world are not particularly encouraging. This world is good enough for me, cousin Cecily.
Yes, to you, but enough for it.
I'm afraid I am not that. That is why I want you to reform me. Make that your mission, if you don't mind, cousin Cecily.
I'm afraid I am busy this afternoon.
Oh. Might you mind by reforming myself this afternoon?
It is rather chaotic of you, but I think you should try.
I will. Feel better already.
You look a little worse.
That is because I am hungry.
Oh, how thoughtless of me. I forgot that when one is going to lead an entirely new life, one needs regular and wholesome meals. Well, won't you come in?
Thank you, but might I have a buttonhole first? I never have any appetite unless I've had a buttonhole first.
A Marachonier?
No, I'd sooner have a pink rose.
Why?
Because you are like a pink rose, cousin Cecily.
I don't think you should talk to me like that. Miss Prison never says such things.
Well, then Miss Prison is a short-sighted old fool. The prettiest girl I ever saw.
Miss Prison says all good looks are a snare.
A snare that every sensible gentleman would like to be caught in.
And I don't think I'd like to catch a sensible gentleman. I don't know what I'd talk to him about.
You are too much alone here, Dr. Jacksonville. You should get married. A missus folk, I can understand. A woman folk, never.
Believe me, Miss Prism, I do not deserve so neologistic a phrase. The precept and the very practice of the primitive church is distinctively against matrimony.
Well, that is obviously the reason why the primitive church has not lasted up until the present day. But you do not seem to realize, dear Dr. Jacksonville, that by persistently remaining single, a man converts himself into a permanent, public temptation. Men should be more careful. This very celibacy leads weakened vessels astray.
But is a man not equally attractive when married?
No married man is ever attractive, except to his wife.
Not than I've been told, not even to her.
That depends on the intellectual sympathies of the woman. But maturity can always be depended upon. green.
Ooh.
I spoke horticulturally.
My metaphor was drawn from fruits. But where is Cecily?
Perhaps she followed us to the school.
Mr. Worthing!
Mr. Worthing?
This is indeed a surprise. We did not look for you until Monday afternoon.
I've returned sooner than I expected. Dr. Chasuble, I hope you are well.
Mr. Worthing, I hope this garb of woe does not bestow some terrible calamity.
My brother!
More shameful debts and extravagance.
Still leading his life with pleasure.
Dead!
Your brother Earnest dead.
Quite dead!
What a lesson for him. I trust he will profit by it.
I offer you my deepest condolences. At least you have the consolation of knowing you're always the most generous and forgiving of brothers.
Poor Ernest. He had many faults, but this is a sad blow.
Very sad indeed. Were you with him at the end?
No. He died abroad, in Paris, in fact. I got a telegram from the manager of the Grand Hotel last night.
Was the cause of death mentioned?
A severe chill, it seems.
As a man sows, so let him reap.
Charity, Miss Prism, charity. None of us are perfect. I myself am peculiarly susceptible to chills. Will the increment take place here?
No! He desired to be buried abroad, in Paris.
In Paris! I fear that points to hardly any sane state of mind at last. Well, you will no doubt want me to make some slight allusion to this tragic domestic affair next Sunday. My sermon on the matter of the manner of the wilderness is perfect for any occasion, joyous, or in this case, distressing. I performed little harvest celebrations, christenings, confirmations, days of humiliation, and feastal days. The last time I performed it was at the cathedral as a charity sermon on behalf of the Society for the Prevention of the Discontent among the Upper Orders. The bishop that was there was particularly struck by some of the analogies I drew.
That reminds me, you mentioned christenings, Dr. Chasuble. I suppose you know how to christen all right? I mean, you are continually christening, aren't you?
It is, I regret to say, one of the rector's most constant duties in this parish. I have often spoken to the poorer classes on the subject, but they don't seem to know what thrift is.
Is there a particular infant in whom you are interested, Mr. Worthing? Your brother was unmarried, was he not?
Yes, quite unmarried.
People who live entirely for pleasure usually are.
No, it isn't for any child, dear doctor. I am quite fond of children. No, I would like to be christened myself this afternoon, if you've got nothing better to do.
Mr. Worthing, surely you are christened already?
Well, I don't actually know. Of course, I don't know whether the thing would bother you in any way, or you think I'm a little too old now.
Not at all. The sprinkling or indeed immersion of adults is a perfectly canonical practice.
Immersion?
You need not have any apprehensions. Sprinkling is all that will be necessary or, in this case, advisable. The weather's so changeable. What time would you like the ceremony to be performed?
I might trot round about 5 if that suits you.
Perfectly. In fact, I've got a similar ceremony around that time. A case of twins from one of the outlying cottages on your estate. Poor Jenkins the carter. A most hard-working man.
I don't see much fun in being christened along with other babies. That would be childish. How about 5:30?
Admirably. Now, I must retreat from this house of sorrow at once. Try not to be so bowed down by grief. What seems to us bitter challenges are mere blessings in disguise.
This seems to me a blessing of an extremely obvious kind.
Oh, Uncle Jack, I'm so glad to see you back. What horrid clothes you've got on, and do go and change.
Cecily!
My child!
Oh, what's the matter? Oh, do look happy. You look as if you've got toothache, and I've got such a surprise for you. Who do you think is in the dining room? Your brother. Your brother. Ernest, he arrived about half an hour ago.
That is nonsense. got a brother.
Uncle Jack, don't say that. He's still your brother. And you couldn't be so hard as to disown him, could you? I'm going to tell him to come here and you will shake hands with him, won't you, Uncle Jack?
These are very joyful tidings!
After we had all been resigned to his loss, his sudden return seems to me peculiarly distressing.
My brother's in the dining room. I don't know what it means. I think it's perfectly absurd. Oh, good heavens!
Brother John, I have come down from town to tell you I am very sorry for the trouble I have caused you. I intend on living a better life in the future.
Uncle Jack, you are not going to refuse your own brother's hand.
Nothing will induce me to take his hand. He's coming down here absurd, and he knows perfectly well why.
Uncle Jack, do be nice. Ernest has just been telling me about his poor invalid friend, Mr. Bunbury, whom he goes to visit so often. And surely they must be good in one who is kind to an invalid and leaves the pleasures of London to sit by a bed of pain.
So he's been talking to you about Bunbury, has he?
Yes, he's told me all about poor Mr. Bunbury and his terrible state of health.
Bunbury? Well, I won't have him talk to you about Bunbury or about anything else. It's enough to make one perfectly frantic.
I admit the faults were all on my side. I must say I find Brother John's coldness to me particularly painful. I was expecting a much more enthusiastic welcome, especially considering that this is the first time I have come here.
Uncle Jack, if you do not shake your brother's hand, I will never forgive you.
Never forgive me.
Never, never, never.
Well, this is the last time I shall ever do it.
It's pleasant, is it not, to see so perfect a reconciliation. I think we might leave the brothers in peace.
Cicely, you will come with us.
Certainly, Miss Prism, my little task of reconciliation is over.
You have done a beautiful action today, dear child.
We must not be premature in our judgments.
I feel quite happy.
Yes! Down to Algy! You've got to get out of this place as soon as possible! I don't allow there any Bunburying here!
Mr. Ernest Stevens in the room next to your own, sir. I suppose it is all right.
What?
Mr. Ernest's luggage. I have unpacked it and put it in the room next to your own.
His luggage?
Yes, sir. 3 portmen, 2 a dressing case, 2 large hat boxes, and a large luncheon basket.
I'm afraid I can only stay a week, Mrs. Dyer.
Merriman! All of the dog cards at once! Mr. Ernest has suddenly been called back to town!
Yes, sir.
Liar you are, Jack! I've not been called back to town as you.
Yes, you have!
I haven't heard anyone call for me.
Well, your duty as a gentleman calls you back.
My duty as a gentleman has never interrupted my pleasures in the smallest degree.
Yes, I can quite understand that.
Well, Cecily is a darling.
I won't have you talk to his heart you like that! I don't like it!
Well, I don't like your clothes. You're perfectly ridiculous in them. On earth don't you go and change? It's perfectly absurd to be in deep mourning for a man who is staying with you the whole week in your house as a guest. I call it grotesque.
You are certainly not staying with me the whole week for a guest or as anything else. You've got to leave by the 4:05 train.
I certainly won't leave you while you're in mourning. I should think it very unfriendly. If I were in mourning, you would stay with me, I suppose. I should think it very unkind if you didn't.
Well, will you go if I change my clothes?
Yes, but if you are not too long about it. I never knew anybody to take so long to dress and produce such little result.
Well, that is nonsense! God!
dear fellow, it really isn't. Well, this has been a great success, I must add. For I am in love with Cecily, and that is everything. But I must see her before I go and make arrangements for another Bunbury. Ah, here she is.
I merely came back to water the roses. I thought you were with Uncle Jack.
He's gone to order the dog cart for me.
Who's he going to take you for a nice drive?
He's sending me away.
Well, then you've got to part.
Yes! It is a very painful party.
It is always painful to part from people one has known in a brief space of time. The absence of old friends one can endure with equanimity. Even a momentary separation from anyone whom one has just been introduced is almost unbearable.
The dog cart is at the door, sir.
It can wait, Merriman, for 5 minutes.
Yes, miss.
I hope, Cecily, I shall not offend you if I state quite frankly and openly that you seem to me to be in every possible way the visible personification of absolute perfection.
I think your frankness is a great credit, Ernest. If you will allow, I shall copy your remarks into my diary.
Oh, you really keep a diary? I'd give anything to have a look at it. May I?
No. You see, it is simply a very young girl's record of her own thoughts and impressions, and consequently meant for publication. When it is released in volume form, pray, Ernest, do order a copy. But don't stop. I delight in taking down from dictation. I have reached absolute perfection. You can go on. I'm quite ready for more. Don't cough, Ernest. When one is dictating, one should speak fluently and never cough. Besides, I don't know how to spell cough.
Cecily, ever since I first looked upon your wonderful and incomparable expression, I have dared to love you wildly, passionately, devotedly, and hopelessly.
I don't think you should say that you're going to love me wildly, passionately, devotedly, and hopelessly. Hopelessly doesn't seem to make much sense, does it?
Cecily!
The dog cart is waiting, sir.
I'm telling you to come round next week!
Yes, sir.
Same hour!
Uncle Jack would be very much annoyed to hear that you weren't going to stay on until next week at the same hour.
Oh, I don't care about Jack. I don't care about anyone in the whole world but you. I love you, Cecily. You'll marry me, won't you?
You silly boy, of course. Why, you've been engaged for the last 3 months.
For the last 3 months?
Yes, it will be exactly 3 months on Thursday.
But how did we become engaged?
Well, ever since Uncle Jack first confessed to us that he had a younger brother who was very wicked and bad, you, of course, have formed the chief topic of conversation between myself and Miss Prism. And, of course, a man who is much talked about is always very attractive. One feels there must be something in him, I suppose. And I dare say it was foolish of me, but I fell in love with you, Ernest.
Darling, how was our engagement actually settled?
Well, it was settled the 14th of April. Worn out by your entire ignorance of my existence, I determined to end the matter one way or another. And after a long, hard struggle with myself, I accepted you right here. The next day, I went out and bought this little ring in your name. And this is the bangle with the true lover's note I promised you to always wear.
Ooh, did I give you this? It's very pretty, isn't it?
Gives you wonderfully good taste, Ernest. It's the excuse I've always given you for living such a bad life. And this is the box with which I keep all of your letters.
My letters? It says I've never written you any letters.
You need hardly remind me of that, Ernest. I remember all too well I was forced to write your letters for you. I wrote 3 times a week and sometimes oftener.
You let me read them.
Oh no, I couldn't possibly. They would make you far too conceited. Besides, the 3 that I wrote you after I'd broken off the engagement are so beautiful and so badly spelled that I could hardly read them without crying.
Was our engagement ever broken off?
Well, of Of course it was. On the 22nd of last May. You can read the entry in my diary if you like. Today I broke off my engagement to Ernest. I feel it is best to do so. The weather still continues charming.
Why did you break off our engagement? I mean, what had I done? Oh no, hang on, I've done nothing at all. Oh, Cecily, I'm very much so hurt indeed to hear that you broke off our engagement. Particularly when the weather was so charming.
Well, it hardly been a really serious engagement if it had been broken off at least once. Besides, I forgave you before the week was out.
Perfect angel you are.
You dear romantic boy. I hope your hair does naturally, does it?
Yes, darling. With a little help from others.
Oh, I'm so glad.
You must promise never to break off our engagement again, Cecily.
I couldn't possibly now that I've actually met you. Besides, of course, there is the question of your name.
Yes, of course.
Oh, don't laugh at me, darling. It has always been a girlish dream of mine to love someone by the name Ernest. It's the name that produces absolute confidence. I pity any poor married woman whose husband is not called Ernest.
My dear, sweet child. Do you mean to tell me that you would not love me if I had some other name?
But what name?
I mean, any name you'd like. Algernon, for instance.
But I don't like the name of Algernon.
My dear, sweet, loving little darling. I really can't see why you object to the name of Algernon. It's not at all a bad name. In fact, it's a rather aristocratic name. Half the chaps who go to the bankruptcy court are called Algernon. Seriously, Cecily, if I was called Algie, would you love me?
I might respect you, Ernest. I might admire your character. But I fear I should not be able to give you my undivided attention.
Boy, the rector here is, I suppose, thoroughly experienced in the practices, the rites, and ceremonials of the church, is he not?
Oh yes, Dr. Chaspin is a most learned man. He's never written any books. You can imagine how much he knows.
See him in the matter of an important christening. I mean on the most important business.
Oh.
I shan't be away for more than half an hour.
Well, considering that we've been engaged since April the 14th, and we met each other for the first time today, I think it'd be rather hard of you to leave so long a period as half an hour. Couldn't you make it 20 minutes?
Shan't be too long at all.
What an impetuous boy he is. I like his hair so much. I must enter his proposal into my diary.
And Miss Fairfax has just called to see Mr. Worthing on very important business, Miss Fairfax states.
Isn't Mr. Worthing in his library?
Mr. Worthing went in the direction of the rectory some time ago, Miss.
Well, pray ask the lady to come here. I'm sure Mr. Worthing will be back soon. And you can bring tea.
Yes, Miss.
Miss Fairfax. I suppose one of the good elderly women associated with Uncle Jack in his philanthropic work in London. I don't like them associated with philanthropic work. I think it is so forward of them. Oh.
Miss Fairfax.
Pray let me introduce myself to you. My name is Cecily Cardew.
Cecily Cardew. What a very sweet name. Something tells me we are going to be great friends. I like you already more than I can say. My first impressions of people are never wrong.
How nice of you to like me so much after such a comparatively short time. Pray sit down.
I may call you Cecily, may I not?
With pleasure.
And you will always call me Gwendolyn, won't you?
If you wish.
Then it's all quite settled, is it not?
I hope so.
Perhaps this might be a favourable opportunity for my mentioning who I am. My father is Lord Bracknell. You have not heard of Papa, I suppose.
I don't think so.
Outside the family circle, Papa, I'm glad to say, is entirely unknown. I think that is quite as it should be. The home seems to me to be the proper sphere for a man. And certainly once a man begins to neglect his domestic duties, he becomes painfully effeminate, does not? And I don't like that. It makes men so very attractive. Cecily, Mamma, whose rules in education are remarkably strict, has brought me up to be extremely short-sighted, so do you mind my looking at you through my glasses?
Pray do. I'm quite fond of being looked at.
You are here on short visit, I suppose?
No, I live here.
Really? Your mother, no doubt, or some other female relative of advanced years resides here also?
No, I have no mother. Nor, in fact, any relations.
Indeed.
My guardian, along with the assistance of Miss Prism, has the arduous task of looking after me.
Your guardian?
I'm Mr. Worthing's ward.
Oh, it is strange he never mentioned to me that he had a ward. How secretive of him. He grows more interesting hourly. I am not sure, however, that the news inspires me with feelings of unmixed delight. I am very fond of you, Cecily. I have liked you ever since I met you. But now that I know you are Mr. Worthing's ward, I cannot help expressing the wish that you were, well, just slightly older than you seem to be, and not quite so very alluring in appearance. In fact, if I may speak candidly...
Oh, pray do. I think whenever one has anything unpleasant to say, one should always be quite candid.
Well, to speak with perfect candor, Cecily, I wish you were fully 42 and more than usually plain for your age. Ernest has a strong, upright nature. He is the very soul of truth and honour. Disloyalty would be as impossible to him as deception. But even men of the noblest possible moral character are extremely susceptible to the influence of the physical charms of others. Modern, no less than ancient history provides us with many most painful examples of what I refer to. If it were not so, indeed, history would be quite unreadable.
I beg your pardon, Gwendolyn, but did you say Ernest?
Yes.
Oh, but it's not Mr. Earnest Worthing who is my guardian. It is his brother, his elder brother.
Ernest never mentioned to me that he had a brother.
I'm sorry to say they've not been on good terms for a long time.
Well, that accounts for it. And now I come to think of it, I never have heard any man mention his brother. The subject seems distasteful to most men. Cecily, you have lifted a load from my mind. I was growing almost anxious. It would have been terrible if any cloud had come across a friendship like ours, would it not? Of course, you are quite sure it is not Mr. Earnest Worthing who is your guardian.
Quite sure. In fact, I'm going to be here.
I beg your pardon.
Dearest Gwendolyn, there is no reason why I should keep a secret of it from you. Our little county newspaper is sure to chronicle the fact next week. Mr. Ernest Worthing and I are engaged to be married.
I fear there must be some slight error, Miss Cardew. Mr. Ernest Worthing is engaged to me. The announcement will appear in the Morning Post on Saturday at the latest.
I think you must have made some strange mistake. Ernest proposed to me exactly 10 minutes ago.
It is certainly very curious, for he asked me to be his wife yesterday afternoon at 5:30. If you would care to verify the incident, pray, do so. I never travel anywhere without my diary. One should always have something sensational to read on the train. I am so sorry. Dear Cecily, if it is any disappointment to you, but I am afraid that I have the prior claim.
It would distress me more than I can tell you, dear Gwendolyn, if it has caused you any mental or physical anguish. But I feel bound to point out that since Ernest proposed to you, he has clearly changed his mind.
If the poor fellow has been entrapped into any foolish promise, then I shall consider it my duty to rescue him at once, and with a firm hand.
Whatever unfortunate entanglement my dear boy may have got himself into, I will never approach him with it after we are married.
Do you allude to me, Miss Cardew, as an entanglement? You are presumptuous. On an occasion of this kind, it becomes more than a moral duty to speak one's mind. It becomes a pleasure.
Do you suggest that I entrapped Ernest into an engagement? How dare you? This is no time for any shallow mask of manners. When I see a spade, I call it a spade!
I am glad to say that I have never seen a spade. It is clear to me that our social spheres have been widely different.
Shall I name the tea as usual, miss?
Yes, as usual.
Are there many interesting walks in the vicinity, Miss Cardew?
Yes, quite a few. From the top of one of the hills quite close, you can see 5 counties.
5 counties? I don't think I should like that. I hate crowds.
I suppose that is why you live in town.
Quite a well-kept garden this is, Miss Cardew.
So glad you like it, Miss Fairfax.
I had no idea there were any flowers in the country.
Oh, flowers are as common here, Miss Fairfax, as people are in London.
Personally, I cannot understand how anybody manages to exist in the country, if anybody who is anybody does. The country was bores me to death.
Ah, this is what the newspaper is calling agricultural depression, is it not? I believe the aristocracy is suffering from it greatly at present. It is almost an epidemic amongst them, I have been told. Would you like some tea?
Thank you, detestable girl. But I require tea.
Sugar.
No, thank you. Sugar is not fashionable anymore.
Cake or bread and butter?
Bread and butter, please. Cake is rarely seen in the best houses nowadays.
Hand that to Miss Fairfax.
You have filled my tea with lumps of sugar, and though I asked most distinctly for bread and butter, you have given me cake. I am known for the gentleness of my disposition and the extraordinary sweetness of my nature. But I warn you, Miss Cardew, you may go too far.
To save my poor, trusting, innocent darling from the machinations of another woman, there are no lengths which I will not go.
From the moment I saw you, I distrusted you. I felt that you were false and deceitful, and I am never deceived in such matters. My first impressions of people are invariably right.
It would seem to me, Miss Fairfax, that I'm encroaching on your valuable time. No doubt you have many calls with similar nature to make. In the good.
Ernest! My own Ernest!
Quentin, darling!
A moment. May I ask if you are engaged to be married to this young lady?
To dear little Cecily? Of course not. What could have put such an idea into your pretty little head?
Thank you. You may.
I knew there must be some strange mistake, dear Gwendolyn. The man whose arms are at present around your waist, and none other than my guardian, Mr. John Worthing.
I beg your pardon.
This is Uncle Jack.
Jack! Oh,
Here is Ernest.
Ah, my own love.
For a moment. Are you engaged to be married to this young lady?
What young lady?
Good heavens, Gwendolyn!
Yes, to good heavens, Gwendolyn. Yes, to Gwendolyn.
Of course not. Put such an idea into your pretty little head.
Thank you. You may.
I felt that there must be some slight error in Miss Cardew. The man who is embracing you now is my cousin, Mr. Algernon Moncrief.
Algernon Moncrief. Is your name Algernon?
I cannot deny it.
Is your name really John?
I could deny it if I like. I could deny anything if I like. But the fact is, my name most certainly is John. It's been John for years now.
Gross deception has been had upon us.
My poor wounded Cecily.
My sweet, wronged Gwendolyn.
You'll call me sister, will you not?
There is just one question I'd like to ask my guardian.
An admirable idea. Mr. Worthing, there is just one question I would like to be permitted to put to you. Where is your brother, Ernest? We are both engaged to be married to your brother, Ernest, so it is a matter of some importance that we know where your brother Ernest is at present.
Gwendolyn! Cecily! It is very painful for me to be forced to speak the truth. It is the first time in my life that I've ever been reduced to such a painful position, and I'm really quite inexperienced of doing anything of the kind. However, I shall tell you frankly that I have no brother Ernest. I have no brother at all. I've never wanted a brother, and I don't intend on ever having a brother in the future.
No brother at all?
None.
Had you never a brother of any kind?
Not even of any kind.
I'm afraid it is quite clear, Cecily, that neither of us is engaged to be married to anyone.
It's not a very nice position for a young girl to find herself in. Is it?
Let us go into the house. They will hardly venture to come after us there.
No! May have such courage!
This ghastly state of things is what you call bundering, I suppose.
Yes! What a perfectly wonderful umbrage is! What my dear says, the most wonderful umbrage of my life!
You have no right to bunbury here whatsoever.
Oh, that is absurd! There's right to bunbury anywhere one chooses. Every serious bunbury knows that.
Serious bunbury is good heaven.
You must be serious about something if one wants to have any amusement in life. I happen to be serious about bunburying. What on earth you're serious about, I haven't the faintest idea. About everything, I should fancy. You have such an absolutely trivial nature.
Well, the only small satisfaction I have out of this wretched business is that my friend Bunbury is quite exploded. You won't be able to pop down to the country quite so often as you used to do, Algy, and a very good thing too.
Well, your poor brother is looking a little off colour, isn't he, dear Jack? You won't be able to disappear to town quite so frequently as your wicked custom was. And a good thing, too.
As for your conduct towards Miss Cardew, I must say that you're taking in a sweet, simple, innocent girl like that inexcusable. Say nothing of the least that she is my ward.
I can see no possible defense in you deceiving a brilliant, clever, very experienced young lady like Miss Fairfax. Not to mention anything of the fact that she is my cousin.
I wanted to be engaged to Gwendolyn, that is all. I love her.
I simply want to be engaged to Cecily. I adore her.
Certainly not being married to Miss Cardew.
I can see no likelihood, Jack, of you and Miss Fairfax being united.
That is no business of yours.
My business, I wouldn't speak of it. It's very vulgar to speak of one's business. Only people like stockbrokers do that, and then merely at dinner parties.
How you can calmly sit there eating muffins when we're in this horrible trouble, I can't make out. Seems to me that you're perfectly heartless.
Well, I can hardly eat muffins in an agitated manner. Butter would probably get on my cuffs. One should always eat muffins quite calmly, which is the only way to eat them.
I say it's perfectly heartless to eat muffins at all under the circumstances.
When I am in trouble, eating is the only thing that consoles me. In fact, when I'm in really great trouble, as anybody who knows me intimately will tell you, I refuse everything except food and drink. At the present moment, I am eating muffins because I am unhappy. Besides, I'm particularly fond of muffins.
And there's no reason why you should be eating them all in that greedy way.
I wish you would have tea cake. I don't like tea cake.
For heaven's sake, I suppose a man wants to eat his own muffins in his own garden.
You said it was perfectly honest to eat muffins.
I said it was perfectly honest of you under the circumstances. That is a very different thing.
That may be. The muffins are the same.
That is nonsense.
It isn't, my dear boy. I will tell you that much now. But no matter, because the truth of the matter is, I love muffins. They are simple.
Well, I'm going to be engaged with Dr. Chasuble. He's told me distinctly this afternoon.
Oh, well, see, that's the matter of my own accord, because I have said to Dr. Chasuble that I'm going to be christened at 5:45.
Yes, but you've been christened before. That's a completely different thing.
Yes, but I have been christened for years, my dear boy.
Yes, but you have been christened.
Quite so. So I know my constitution can stand it. But if you are unsure about your ever having been christened, I must say, I find it rather dangerous you venturing on it now. I mean...
You said yourself that Savicia wasn't hereditary or anything of the kind.
Well, I dare say it wasn't. But it is now. Of course, your brother was called off by one. I mean, science is always making wonderful improvements upon things.
That's nonsense. You're always talking nonsense.
You're at the muffins again. I wish you wouldn't.
I hate tea cake.
Then why on earth would you have tea cake to your guest? But I did you out of my hospitality.
Algernon, I've already asked you to go. Why don't you go? I don't want you here.
I haven't finished my tea yet. Besides, there's one muffin there.
Into the house as anybody else would have done seems to me to show that they have some sense of shame left.
They've been eating muffins. That looks like repentance.
So they don't seem to notice us at all. Couldn't you cough?
But I haven't got a cough.
They're looking at us. What effrontery.
They're approaching up very forward of them.
Let us preserve a dignified silence.
Certainly, it's the only thing to do now.
not be the first to speak.
Certainly not.
Mr. Worthing, I have something very particular to ask you. Much depends on your reply.
Gwendolen, your common sense is invaluable. Mr. Moncrief, kindly answer me the following question. Why do you pretend to be my guardian's brother?
So that I might have the opportunity of meeting you.
That certainly seems a satisfactory explanation, does it not?
Yes, if you can believe him.
I don't, but that doesn't change the wonderful beauty of his answer.
True, in matters of grave importance, style and not sincerity is the vital thing. Mr. Worthing, what explanation can you offer to me for pretending to have a brother? Was it so that you might have an opportunity of coming up to town to see me as often as possible?
Can you doubt it, Miss Fairfax?
I have the gravest doubts upon the subject, but I intend to crush them. This is no time for German skepticism. Their responses appear to be quite satisfactory, especially Mr. Worthing's. That seems to me to have the stamp of truth upon it.
I'm more than content with what Mr. Moncrief said. His voice alone inspires with absolute credulity.
Then you think we should forgive them?
Yes! I mean, no.
True. I had forgotten there are principles at stake which one cannot surrender. But which of us should tell them? The task is not a pleasant one.
Could we not both speak at the same time?
An excellent idea. I will most always speak at the same time as other people. You will take time for me.
Certainly.
Your Christian names are still an insuperable barrier. That is all.
Our Christian names? Is that all? But we're going to be christened this afternoon.
For my sake, you are prepared to do this terrible thing.
I am.
To please me, you're ready to face this fearful ordeal.
Oh, I am.
Oh, how absurd to talk of the equality of the sexes. When matters of self-sacrifice are concerned, men are infinitely beyond us.
We are.
These moments of physical courage of which we women know absolutely nothing.
Darling!
Darling.
Good heavens! Gwendolen, what does this mean? Merely that I am engaged to be married to Mr. Worthing, Mamma. Come here! Come here immediately! Pray, sir, by my daughter's sudden flight by her trusty maid, whose confidence I purchased by means of small coin, I followed her at once by luggage train. Her unhappy father is, I am glad to say, under the impression that she is attending a more than usually lengthy lecture by the University Extension Scheme on the influence of a permanent income on thought. I do not propose to undeceive him. Indeed, I have never undeceived him on any question. I consider it wrong. So you will understand that all communication between yourself and my daughter must cease immediately from this moment. On this point, and indeed all points, I am firm.
But I'm going to be engaged to be married to Gwendolen, Lady Bracknell.
You are nothing of the kind, sir. Now, as regards Algernon. Algernon?
Yes, Aunt Augusta.
May I ask you if this is the house that your invalid friend, Mr. Bunbury, resides?
Bunbury? No, Bunbury doesn't live here. Bunbury is somewhere else at present. In fact, Bunbury's dead.
Dead? When did Mr. Bunbury die? His death must have been extremely sudden.
I killed Bunbury this afternoon. I mean, he died this afternoon.
Well, what did he die of?
Bunbury? Oh, he was quite, exploded.
Exploded? Was he a victim of revolutionary outrage? legislation. If so, he is well punished for his morbidity.
No, Aunt Augusta, I mean that Bunbury was found out. Doctors found out that he could not live anymore, so he died.
He seems to have had great confidence in the opinions of his physicians. I am glad, however, that he made up his mind at the last to some definite course of action and acted under proper medical guidance. Now that we have finally gotten rid of this Mr. Bunbury, Mr. Worthing, may I ask who is that young person whose hand my nephew Algernon now seems to be holding in a peculiarly unnecessary manner?
That lady is Miss Cecily Cardew, my ward.
I'm engaged to be married to Cecily, Aunt Augusta.
I beg your pardon?
Mr. Moncrief and I are engaged, Lady Bracknell.
I do not know if there is something peculiarly exciting in the air in this part of Hertfordshire, but the number of engagements that goes on seems to me to be considerably above the average that statistics have laid out for our guidance. I think some preliminary inquiries on my part would not be out of place. Mr. Worthing, is Miss Cardew at all connected with any of the larger railway stations in London? I merely desire information. Until yesterday, I was not aware of any families or persons whose origin was determined.
Miss Cardew is the granddaughter of the late Mr. Thomas Cardew of 149 Belgrave Square, SW, Gervais Park, Dorking, Surrey, and the Sporran, Fifeshire, NB.
That sounds not unsatisfactory. 3 dresses always inspires confidence, even in tradesmen. But what proof have I of their authenticity?
I have carefully preserved the court guides of the period. They're open to your inspection, Lady Bracknell.
I think grave errors in their publication.
Miss Cecily's family's solicitors are Messrs. Markby, and Markby.
Markby, a firm of the very highest position in their profession. Indeed, I am told that one of the Mr. Markbys is occasionally to be seen at dinner parties. So far, I am satisfied.
Extremely kind of you, Lady Bracknell. I also have in my possession, you'll be pleased to hear, certificates of Miss Cardew's birth, baptism, whooping cough, registration, vaccination, confirmation, and the measles, both in the German and English variety.
A life crowded with incidents, I see, though perhaps somewhat too exciting for a young girl. I'm not in favour of premature excitement. Gwendolyn, the time for our departure approaches. We have not a moment to lose. Mr. Worthing, as a matter of form, I had better ask if Miss Cardew has any little fortune.
About £130,000 in the funds. Thank you, Lady Bracknell. So pleased to have seen you.
A moment, Mr. Worthing. £130,000, and in the funds. Miss Cardew seems to me to be a most attractive young lady, now that I look at her. Few girls of our age have any really solid qualities, any qualities that last and improve with time. We live, I regret to say, in an age of surpluses. Come over here, dear. Pretty child, your dress is sadly simple, and your hair seems almost as nature had left it. However, we can easily alter all of that. A thoroughly experienced French maid can produce a really marvelous result in a short space of time. I remember recommending one to Lady Lansing, and after 3 months her husband did not know her.
And after 6 months, nobody knew her.
Kindly turn around, sweet child. No, the side view is what I want. Yes, quite as I expected. There are distinct social possibilities in your profile. Those are the weak points of the present. Its want of principle and profile. The chin a little higher, dear. Style largely depends depends on the way that the chin is worn. They are worn very high, just at present. Algernon,
Yes, Aunt Augusta.
there are distinct social possibilities in Miss Cardew's profile.
Cecily is the prettiest, kindest, most wonderful girl in the whole world. I don't give 2 pence about social possibilities.
Never speak disrespectfully of society, Algernon. Only people can't get into it, do that. But my dear child, you must know that Algernon has nothing but his debts to depend on. But I do not approve of mercenary marriages. When I met Lord Bracknell, I had no fortune of any kind, but I never dreamed for a moment of allowing that to stand in my way. Well, I must give my consent.
Oh, thank you, Aunt Augusta.
Cecily, you may kiss me.
Thank you, Lady Bracknell.
You may also address me as Aunt Augusta for the future.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
The marriage, I think, had better take place quite soon.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
To speak frankly, I am not in favour of long engagements. They give people the opportunity of finding out each other's character before marriage, which is never advisable.
Excuse me, Lady Bracknell, for interrupting you, but this engagement is quite out of the question. I am Miss Cardew's guardian. She cannot get married without my consent until she is of age. And that consent I absolutely deny to give.
Upon what grounds, may I ask? Algernon is an extremely, I may also say, ostentatiously eligible young man. He has nothing but looks everything. What more can one desire?
Very painful for me to have to speak frankly to you about your nephew. But I think his coming down here absurd. And I accuse him of being untruthful.
Untruthful? My nephew Algernon, impossible. He is an Oxonian.
I fear there can be no possible doubt about the matter. During my temporary absence in London, an important question of romance, he obtained admission to my house by the false pretense of being my younger brother. Under an assumed name, he drank, I've just been informed by my butler, an entire pint bottle of my Perrier Jouet Brut 89 wine I was specially reserving for myself. Continuing his deception, he continued in the course of the afternoon in alienating the affections of my only ward. Subsequently, he stayed for tea and devoured every single muffin. And what makes his conduct all the more heartless is that he was well aware of the fact from the first that I have no brother, that I've never had a brother, and I certainly don't intend to ever have a brother in my life. I distinctly told him so myself yesterday afternoon.
Mr. Worthing, after careful consideration, I have decided entirely to overlook my nephew's conduct to you.
How generous of you. My decision on the matter is irrevocable. I decline to give my consent.
Come over here, dear. How old are you?
Well, I'm really only 18, but I admit to being 20 at evening parties.
You are quite right in making some slight alteration. Indeed, a woman should never be quite accurate about her age. It looks so calculating. 18, but admitting to 20 at evening parties. Well, it will not be long before you soon become of age and are free from the restraints of tutelage. So I really don't see why your guardian's consent is a matter of any importance.
Pray, excuse me, Lady Randall, for interrupting you again. But the fact is, according to the terms of Miss Cardew's will from our grandfather, she does not come legally of age till she is 35.
That does not seem to me to be a grave objection. 35 is a very attractive age. London society is full of women of the highest birth who have, of their own free choice, decided to remain at the age of 35. Lady Dumbleton is an instance in this point. To my knowledge, she has been at the age of 35 ever since she reached the age of 40, which was many years ago. But I see no reason why our dear Cecily should be still more attractive at the age that you mentioned that she is at present.
seriously, you know I would.
Yes, I felt it instinctively. But I couldn't wait all that time. I hate waiting even for 5 minutes. It always makes me rather cross. I'm not punctual myself, but I respect punctuality in others. And waiting, even to be married, is quite out of the question.
Then, what's to be done, Cicely?
I don't know, Mr. Moncrief.
My dear Mr. Irving, as Miss Cardew states positively that she cannot wait until she is 35, a remark which I am bound to say seems to me to display a somewhat impatient nature, I would beg of you to reconsider your decision.
My dear Lady Bracknell, the decision is entirely in your hands. The moment you consent to my marriage with Gwendolyn, I'll most gladly allow your nephew to form an alliance with my ward.
You must know that what you propose is entirely out of the question.
Then a passionate celibacy is all that any of us can look forward to.
Perhaps it's not the destiny that I propose for Gwendolyn. Algernon, of course, can make his own decisions. We have already missed 5, if not 6 trains. To miss any more might expose us to comment on the platform.
Everything is quite ready for the christenings.
The christening, sir? Is that not somewhat premature?
Both these gentlemen have expressed desire for immediate baptism.
At their age, the idea is grotesque and irreligious. Algernon, I forbid you to be baptized. I will not hear of such excesses. Lord Bracknell would be highly displeased if he learned that that was the way in which you wasted your time and money.
Am I to understand that there are to be no christenings at all this afternoon?
I don't think so. As things are now, I think it would be of much practical value to either of us, Dr. Chasuble.
Mr. Warren! I am grieved to hear such sentiments from you. They favour the views of the Anabaptists, views that I completely refuse to inform in my own public sermons. Now, seeing that your state of mind seems to be one peculiarly secular, I must return to the church at once. For the pew opener has just informed me that for the past hour and a half, Miss Prism has been waiting for me in the vestry.
Miss Prism? Did I hear you mention a Miss Prism?
Yes, Lady Bracknell, I am on my way to join her.
Pray, allow me to detain you for a moment. This matter may be of vital importance to Lord Bracknell and myself. Is this Miss Prism a female of repellent aspect remotely connected with education?
She is most cultivated and the very picture of respectability.
It is obviously the same person. May I ask what position she holds in your household?
I am celibate!
Miss Prism, Lady Bracknell, she has been, for the past 3 years, Miss Cardew's esteemed governess and valued companion.
In spite of what I hear of her, I must see her at once. Let her be sent for.
She approaches! She is nigh!
I was told to expect me in the vestry, dear Canon. I've been waiting for you there for an hour and 3/4.
Prism! Come here, Prism! Prism, where is that baby? 28 years ago, Prism, you left Lord Bracknell's house, number 104, Upper Grosvenor Street, in charge of a perambulator containing a baby of the male sex. You never returned. A few weeks later, through the elaborate investigations of the Metropolitan Police, the perambulator was discovered standing by itself in a remote corner of the Bayswater. It contained the manuscript of a 3-volume novel of a more than usually revolting sentimentality. But the baby was not there! Prism, where is that baby?
Lady Bracknell, I admit, with shame, that I do not know. I only wish I did. The plain facts of the case are these. On the morning of the day you mention, a day that will forever be branded on my memory, I prepared as usual to take the baby out in its perambulator. I also had with me a somewhat old but capacious handbag, in which I had intended on placing the manuscript of a work of fiction I had written in my few unoccupied hours. In a moment of mental abstraction, for which I never can forgive myself for, I deposited the manuscript in the bassinet and placed the baby in the handbag.
Yes, but where did you deposit the handbag? Miss Prism, this is a matter of no small importance to me. Where did you leave and deposit the handbag that contained that infant?
I left it in the cloakroom at one of the larger railway stations in London.
What railway station?
Victoria. The Brighton line.
Oh, I did it! I must retire to my room. Wait here for me.
If you are not too long, I will wait here for you all my life.
What do you think this means, Lady Buckingham?
I dare not even suspect Dr. Chesbrook. I need hardly tell you that in families of high position, strange coincidences are not supposed to occur. They are hardly considered a thing.
Uncle Jack seems strangely agitated.
Your guardian is of a very emotional nature.
Boys, it's extremely unpleasant. It sounds as though you're having an argument. I dislike arguments of any kind. They are always vulgar and often convincing.
It has stopped now.
I wish you would arrive at some conclusion. Oh, this suspense is terrible. I hope it will last.
Miss Prism, is this the handbag? Answer it carefully before you speak. The happiness of more than one life depends on it.
It seems to be mine. Yes. Here is the injury it received through the upsetting of a Gower Street omnibus in younger and happier days. Here was the stain on the lining caused by the explosion of a temperance beverage, an incident that occurred at Leamington. And here, on the lock, are my initials. I'd forgotten in an extravagant mood I'd had them placed there. The bag is undoubtedly mine. I am delighted to have it so unexpectedly restored to me. It has been a great inconvenience being without it all these years.
Miss Prism, more is restored to you than that handbag. I was the baby you placed in it. Yes! Mother!
Mr. Worthing! I'm unmarried!
Oh! Unmarried? I do not deny that is a serious blow. Who matters? I mean, cannot repentance wipe out an act of folly? Can there not be one rule for men and another for women?
Here!
Mother! I forgive you!
Mr. Worthing! There is some error. There is the lady who can tell you who you really are.
Lady Bracknell, I hate to seem inquisitive, but would you kindly let me to know who I am?
The news I have to give you will not altogether please you. You are the son of my poor sister, Mrs. Moncrief, and consequently, Algernon's elder brother.
Algy's elder brother? Then I do have a brother after all. I knew I had a brother. I said I had a brother. Cecily, how could you have ever denied I had a brother? Dr. Chassidon, my unfortunate brother. Miss Prism, my unfortunate brother. My unfortunate brother. Algy, you young scoundrel, you've got to treat me with more respect in the future. You've never treated me like a brother in all your life.
Well, not till today, old boy, I admit. Oh, in my defense, I was a little out of practice.
Oh, my own one! But what own are you? What is your Christian name now that you have become someone
I've
else?
forgotten that point. I suppose the decision of that is irrevocable, I suppose.
I never change, except in my affections.
What a noble nature you have, Gwendolyn.
Then the question had better be cleared up at once. Answer us a moment. When Miss Prism left me in the handbag, had I been christened already?
Every luxury luxury that money could buy, including christening, had been lavished upon you by your fond and doting parents.
Then I was christened. That settles it. Now, for my name. Let me know the words.
Being the eldest son, you were naturally christened after your father.
Yes, but what was my father's Christian name?
I cannot at the present moment recall what the General's Christian name was, but I have no doubt he had one. He was eccentric, I admit, but only in later years, and that was as a result of the Indian climate and marriage and indigestion and other things of that kind.
Algy, can you not recollect what our father's Christian name was?
Dear boy, we were never on speaking terms. Died before I was a year old.
It must be in the army period, I suppose, Lady Bracknell.
The General was essentially a man of peace, except in his domestic life. But I have no doubt his name would appear in any military directory.
The army list for the last 40 years are here. These records should be my delightful study. M. Generals. Malham, Max Boham. Oh, Matchley. What ghastly names. Migsby, Mobbs, Moncrief. Lieutenant 1840, General, Colonel, General 1869, Christian names. Earnest! John! I told you earlier my name was Earnest, didn't I? Well, it isn't Earnest after all. It naturally is Earnest!
Yes, I remember now that the General was called Earnest. I knew I had some particular reason for disliking that name.
Ernest! My own Ernest! I knew from the first that you could have no other name.
Gwendolen, it is a terrible thing for a man to find out suddenly all his life he's been speaking nothing but the truth. Can you forgive me?
I can, for I feel that you are sure to change.
My own one.
Let's strike!
At last!
Cecily! At last, Gwendolen! At last!
My nephew, you seem to be displaying signs of triviality.
On the contrary, Aunt Augusta, I've now realized for the first time in my life the vital importance of being earnest.
Thanks everyone for coming. Hope everyone enjoyed. Just want to say, we wouldn't have been able to get here if it wasn't for everyone on the stage. We've literally had 4 weeks, and the amount of hard work everyone's put in has been insane, and I wouldn't be able to do it without everyone. So thank you so much.